in the Department of Natural Resources where I work, we lied to the public literally every day about almost every issue that we ever reported on. We had statistical data, but as far as going on the press and telling a story, I don't believe over my entire career that we ever issued a story that was actually accurate, that wasn't spun in one form or another. It was a disgrace. Canada has by government stats, has 318 billion trees. Government statistics tell us that each tree can absorb 48 pounds of CO2 out of the atmosphere on an annual basis. That's over 15 trillion pounds of CO2 get pulled out of the atmosphere by the trees in Canada every year. Everything that happens in Canada, all of the people, all of the industry only create 1.34 trillion pounds of CO2, which means we only need 9% of the trees that we have to completely turn us into a carbon sink. And right now, our economy is being devastated by a carbon tax. In the province that I'm living in here, our price of fuel just went up another, I think it was 15 cents a liter, and then they tacked on another. And I haven't been on the ground at a number of fires that basically lit all at the exact same time, which is statistically not just improbable, it's statistically impossible based on the data that I looked at. Mm-hmm. And some of these fires were hundreds of kilometers apart from one another. And this was days after any storms had gone through the area. Looked from the training that I've had to have been a coordinated arson attack. And unless I see hard evidence to the contrary, that's my professional opinion as to what I witnessed happened in Quebec. And so that happened 3 weeks prior to one of the biggest carbon tax increases. So what happened is the government has hung its hat on climate change in order to stay in power. And it's almost as if they created a perfect storm of opportunity to allow fires to burn and burn larger than they used to, and then use that to drive the climate change narrative to justify all of the restraints they're putting on society here in Canada. And I don't believe in coincidence. I believe in looking at hard evidence. And when I look at the hard evidence that I've had access to, and it's the same as the fires here that happened in Nova Scotia, right? The largest fire in our history is an arson fire. It's caused by humans. It's not a natural occurrence. And the only reason these fires are growing to the extent that they're growing, which inflames the climate change agenda, is budget cuts and mismanagement.